And so this was an essay that you wrote as part of your kind of portfolio work, is that right? And what is it you're going to be reading today? What's the title?
It's called A Lost Art, and it's about letter writing and how it helped improve lots of aspects of my life.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Would you like to hear it? Yeah. Then please give a huge round of applause for Callum.
Letter writing, humanity's oldest form of non-verbal communication. It spiraled into popularity among the population like a common cold. Everyone caught the plague that was letter writing. It was the only means of long-distance communication for the average Joe, so of course it was used a lot. Well, until the latter half of the 21st century, when phones came into the pictures. Mobile phones became the new epidemic, the new common cold that infected the world. Some say this is great, and who am I to disagree? You can almost do anything at the end of your fingertips with those things. However, there's something about getting a handwritten letter that's just so special, giving a sense of satisfaction to the person receiving. Some may beg to differ, but my experiences have taught me otherwise. My experiences with letter writing began around 2018. I was in second year at school, and up until that point, I don't think I'd ever received a letter, nor had I written one. So, yeah, my experiences began in an unusual way when I was told by my English teacher, Mr. Brown, who's over there somewhere, that the Superpower Agency, an outside agency who strive to develop not only young people's ability to write, but their passion for the craft, were coming into our English class to introduce their new workshop that they were going to run. And as a scruffy, unintelligent, misbehaved second-year boy, this sparked some questions. Who the hell, what the hell, and why the hell? I guess I just didn't understand why anyone, let alone a so-called agency, would want to work with a bottom-set English class from my school of all schools. Luckily, my suspense was spared when Gerald and all the other volunteers came into our class to talk us through the workshop. And some of the answers to these questions became clear. And to be brutally honest, I thought it was going to be a load of nonsense. In spite of this, and my contempt for English at the time, the Superpower Agency managed to capture my attention within their introduction, and I was drawn to their can-do attitude and sense of hilarity and just their all-in-all positive mindset, and it was really the first step in getting someone with possibly the shortest attention span ever interested in writing. Weeks later, after some team-building sessions with Superpower volunteers, we were taken to the school library, and I was told for the next term, we'd be writing letters with our pen pals. This was daunting. What to write? I had no idea who my pen pal was, and having to write about my life to some stranger, to tell them about myself, it was building a brick wall of terror inside that I really thought couldn't be broken. And to what seems like a breeze now really did seem like a Herculean task. And soon the inner fear began to show physically on my face, and Gerald acknowledged this and reassured me, and he got a bit cynical here when he said that the paper was only a blank canvas and it was my creation, and I could do whatever I wanted with it. And within reason, of course, and this had to be mentioned because typically I would have had the urge to write a load of swear words on the page and send it away because of my maturity level at the time. But I didn't have the impulsive need to do anything silly because of the positive relationship I'd formed with the volunteers. I actually done the task at hand properly. And soon my pencil started picking up pace, running across the page. And before I knew it, I had a paragraph, like an interesting paragraph about myself. It was really quite something for me. I didn't really do much at that age. So receiving my first letter, it gave me a sense of euphoria. A pure feeling of excitement, like watching the next episode of a television show after a cliffhanger. After I sent my letter away, my first letter, I longed for a reply, and the fact it was actually happening was dumbfounding. I ripped open the envelope so fast I just couldn't hold back. And with every word that I read, it seemed to put to rest a feeling of wonder that built up within. And by the end of the letter, I was in a trance of satisfaction, so happy with the reply. It was like a scratch and itch that had been there for weeks. This feeling consolidated and helped grow further my love for letter writing. And with every letter I received, the feeling certainly didn't fall short. Letter writing was a drug, and I began to seek this feeling in lots of different things in my life. For example, my schoolwork, in lots of different classes and not just English. And because I seek this feeling, it urged me to try harder in lots of the different things that I'd done, which moved me in such a much more positive direction, hoping that I'd get the same satisfaction out of my schoolwork as I did letter writing. And after corresponding through pages of her personality for ages, Gerald organised a pen pal meet, and I finally got to meet my pen pal. And despite the confidence that I gained over the recent months, I was still very nervous. What if I reverted back to old ways? What if I started acting up? What if I said something wrong? I thought I'd changed, but what if I was the same scruffy second-year boy from North Edinburgh who at one point, their most favourite pastime was fighting or causing trouble in classes? What if I caused a problem? In spite of this, upon meeting Donald, I learned his name, which was long overdue, and we started chatting away in minutes. He told me about his job as a journalist and various other ordinary things that friends would talk about. It was like we'd known each other for years, and I just felt so comfortable in the presence of him and all the other people around. And Gerald had to put an end to the meeting because it went on for so long, which was a shame because everyone was having so much fun and everyone was glad to meet their pen pals. The meeting helped a lot in developing my confidence, and it highlighted to me that to experience some of the best things in life, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to break down mental barriers. This is a skill that few have, and that I still use to this day, and I will continue to use throughout my life. So in summary, Superpower Agency Workshop played a key role in my social, physical, and mental development, and really helped me to make something of my life. I realized I could be passionate about so many different and meaningful things. So I began running and lost a fair bit of weight. And this massively boosted my self-esteem. The constant positivity shown by the volunteers rubbed off on me, allowing me to have a positive and optimistic outlook on life, to build reassurance while faced with challenges, and it allowed me to further develop my literacy skills and enjoy school. Finding such enjoyment allowed me to apply myself to tasks. For example, going from a bottom set English class in S2 to, well, a top set higher English class on set for a half decent grade. Thank you. Furthermore, it taught me by constantly plunging myself into uncomfortable social situations, I might just make a few friends, and that I did, and a very nice girlfriend at the front. Friends who were interested in me, and not if I just caused trouble in my last class and how much trouble I caused, and if, they wanted me to steal from a shop or something like that. I've had people who are interested in me and who continue to support me day in and day out, and it really does mean a lot. And we even send a few letters to one another every once in a while just for fun, and amongst the masses of revision and schoolwork that we get, Mr. Brown. Which is manageable because I believe in myself so much. So yeah, phones are great, but letter writing should not be so easily discarded. This is how it helped me develop, so why can't anyone else develop in such a way? What have you got to lose? Give letters a chance. Thank you.